here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. If you are here to complain and whine and gripe, I'm not a HR department, nor am I here to accept your grievances, so you can exit stage left. All right? I'm not here for the complaints. You saw the title. You know what's going to be discussed. If you don't like it, then why did you tune in? Okay? Moderators, if you see anyone talking slick in the comments, just go ahead and block them. All right? Because I don't argue with fools. That's what I don't do. Okay, so with that all being said, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Hello, Kenyatta, Jag the Diva, Vina, Perplexed 8. Eileen is in the house, Claudette, Christopher, Queen Shishi, Kathy B is in the house, the Sheriffess. Okay, so with that all being said, a shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, Vina. Okay, Lead Clinton's in the house. All right, Christopher, Ladybug 77, Deronda. So let's get into it, my aunt Egypt. Antonio Blue Hawk is in the house. Nicole, Desalina. Okay, so with that I've been said, hey, Lana, let's go ahead and get into it, Messiah Love. All right, so let's talk about it. Now, some of you may like Marcel Dixon, and that's fine. Well, if you like Marcel Dixon, then you're not going to like what I have to say, and that's just what it is. And if you don't like what I have to say, go ahead and leave now, like I said. Okay, so here's the problem I have with Marcel Dixon. Marcel, I brought him on my show and interviewed him when he was running for Congress because I try to support our people and things that they're doing that's positive and constructive and productive for our community. Now, but since that interview and since he announced his run for Congress, Marcel Dixon has come out and said some very hateful and things that I feel are very inflammatory and spewed a lot of vitriol for people who are drenched in melanin who happen to look like him. Now, they may not be, as he would call them, FBA, but these people are our people nonetheless, whether we love it or hate it at the end of the day. Okay? So let me put his comments that I found very disturbing on the screen. Now, this is what he said. I just want y'all to read that. Okay, is this the words of someone who would be representing us in Congress? I don't think so. Okay, this is why it's a good reason he lost. He doesn't deserve to sit in a seat in Congress when this is how he feels about the very people who look like him. So let's get into it. F you, return home. You backstabbing bitches are the reason we were torn from our home. Why the F would we want to go back to that? Secondly, we built our home, America. You sorry aces sat over there and let the white people take over the continent while we fought back. Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's unpack that real quick. First of all, Marcel didn't fight back. Okay, he didn't fight back. And as a matter of fact, we aren't the ones who fought back. It was our ancestors. You see, at this point, many of our people are afraid to fight back. Where are the real revolutionaries? Has anyone seen them? Because I don't. All right, I see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Okay, he's a real revolutionary. I see people like Brother Rizza Islam. He's a real revolutionary. Okay, I see some people who are real revolutionaries, but I see many of people who are afraid and fearful. And here's how you know this. Because when people get deleted, like Tyree Nichols, when we see people deleted, like Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, and the list goes on, what do most of us do? Most of us don't do anything. We go out there and protest and hold up signs and all of that and shake our fist. But do we really do anything about it? No, we don't. And we're not going to, most of us, because of fear. Okay? I have told you numerous of times the cost of freedom is often death. But our people over here are not fighting back. Okay? They're just not fighting back. So Marcel needs to stop, first of all, acting as though he's been out there on the front lines doing some type of battle or whatever. Okay? Whether he's doing it economically or physically or any other way, because that's not what he's doing. Okay? That's just not what he's doing. We're not forming groups like the Black Panther Party. We're not. Now, we had Grandmaster Jay with the NFAC, but that was a whole government operative. Okay, that was COINTELPRO 2.0. We're not having any legit organizations stand up, speak out, and defend us as the ancestors did. Okay, that's what we're not doing. And here's the thing. He's spewing, Marcel, that is, spewing the same rhetoric as the wanton supremacists. He told them, let me put this on the screen again. He told them, go back to that. Or he says, we built our home, America. Your sorry aces over there let the white people take over the continent while we fought back. And he tells them, return home. F you, return home. So what is he meaning by this when he says return home? He's telling them to go back to Africa. But isn't that what racist, wanton supremacists tell us? As Black people, don't they tell us to go back to Africa? Isn't that the same thing that they say? Isn't that the same thing? Because they Black doesn't mean they us, Queen Cornelius. I didn't say that meant they're us. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is at the end of the day, these people are our people, whether you want to say they're FBA or not, okay? Yes, they're from Africa, some are from Jamaica, some are from Trinidad, but at the end of the day, don't we all have something in common? Aren't we all oppressed no matter where in this world that we sit? No matter where in the world we come from, aren't we all being oppressed? Aren't the wanton supremacists oppressing the people in Africa? Aren't they doing it to the ones in Jamaica? Aren't they doing it to the ones of us right here? Irvo Otieno is an African. He was deleted the other day. Okay, he was deleted. So right here in America. So though he's not FBA, as some of you would call it, he still got the same treatment as FBA. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so to sit here and be divisive is ignorant. Okay, and to sit here and say they're not us, well, you may think they're not us, but at the end of the day, when Marcel says we got stripped from our homeland. What homeland is Marcel talking about? What homeland is he talking about? We didn't get stripped from America because we're still in America. So when Marcel Dixon is saying we got stripped from our homeland because of the people over there, the Africans is who he's talking about, isn't that contradictory? Because then they want to turn around and say that we're not Africans. And so if he's saying we got stripped from our homeland, which he is talking about Africa when he's saying that, Cornelius, isn't he in fact saying that we're the same people? Isn't he in fact saying that we're the same people? If they're in Africa, because he's telling them to go back home, he's clearly talking about Africa. And he says they're the reason why we got stripped from our homeland. So isn't he saying that we came from Africa? He's saying we're the same people, beloved, whether you want to believe that or not. That's just what it is. Some of you want to paint foolish narratives. Some of you don't want to accept the truth. Some of you want to ignorantly stay divisive, okay, because you don't like the immigrants because that's what Tariq Nasheed has been teaching you and schooling you on. When you use that type of foolish rhetoric, you are no better, no different than the wanton supremacists, Cornelius. You say that they're not the same as us, but who's the same as us? Are the wanton supremacists the same as us? Because it's interesting that some of us are spewing their very talking points against the very people who look like us. Now, I know you can't make that make sense. That's what you can't do. You cannot make that make sense because it makes none. Queen, I'm sure you understand the hate Africans and other immigrants have for us. Yes, I do. And I also understand the hate that some of your own people have for us. Okay, you're going to tell me there's no African Americans who hate their own people and even hate themselves? You're not going to tell me that's why we have Bloods and Crips out here doing battle and deleting the people who look like them, who came from the same place as them? What do you have to say about that? I find it so interesting with this selective outrage, because that's all many FBA have, is selective outrage. They want to get mad at the Africans who call them Akatas, but they don't get mad at other FBA who call Africans tethers. They don't get mad about that. They don't get mad at the Bloods and the Crips when they take out people who look like them right here in the divided snakes. They don't get mad about that. They don't get mad about that. Won't you talk about that for a change? Yes, there are some Black immigrants who don't like us, but there's also plenty of us who don't like them. So what makes it okay for you to dislike them and a problem for them to dislike you? At the end of the day, as I've said before, Black immigrants and Black Americans who don't like each other, you're ignorant. Whether you came from afar or you came from right here, you're ignorant, because we're all the same under the same umbrella. You see, we all have the same struggle, is what I'm saying. We are all under a system of wanton supremacy. Now, whether or not you believe we actually came from Africa, or you believe some of us were already here and we're the indigenous people, the true natives, okay, at the end of the day, we all are fighting the same fight, or at least we should be. Okay, at least we should be. Whether you think you literally came from Africa or not, we are all fighting the same fight. And here's the thing: when during the Atlantic slave trade, there were people taken from Africa, well, where do you think those people went? Some of those people were taken to America. Some of them were taken to Jamaica. Some of them were taken to the Dominican Republic. Some were taken to Haiti. They were spread out all over this land and world. So with that all being said, how are we really not the same people? How are we really not the same people? Okay, make it all make sense. That's right. Reggie says melanin is melanin. This is absolutely true. Do you think, or do you see the Europeans going in on the Germans? Do you see the Germans going in on the Italians? Do you see the Italians going in on the Polish? Do you see the Polish going in on the English? No, they all see each other as the same people, just from different parts of the globe. They're not being divisive amongst themselves. The only fools doing that are people who look like us. Now, like I said, if you're so mad, if you're so upset with Black immigrants who don't like us, well, how come you're not mad about the Bloods and the Crips? How come you're not mad about people born right here in this country, like Jason Hamhock Whitlock, okay, who speak against us all the time? How come you're not mad at them? How come you're not mad at your own people who hate on you? I know some of you have haters, right? We probably all have haters, and who do those haters look like? They look like us. Where are those haters from? They're from here. Who are the people that deleted Tyree Nichols? Were any of those people Black immigrants? No, those people were FBA. So while you're sitting here mad and sad and butthurt and bent out of shape and complaining and whining and crying and saying, oh, woe is me, the Black immigrants don't like me, so I don't like them. Well, how come you don't have a problem with people like those police officers who look like us and who are from here clearly, who deleted Tyree Nichols? How come you don't have a problem with that? I have questions. How come you don't have a problem with Black on Black crime? What people who look like us from the same place as us deleting one another? How come you're not saying nothing about that? You sound stupid. And at the end of the day, there are some, like I said, there are some immigrants who don't like us, but there's plenty of us who don't like them either. Okay? And that's the way it's always been. That's the way it's always been. It's nothing new. Now, at the end of the day, many of the immigrants and many of our people have what I call colonized minds. And when you have a colonized mind, the only thing you foolishly do is spew division and you sow seeds of discord. You don't try to unify our people. When you look back and you read the teachings of Malcolm, Malcolm talked about us being unified collectively and globally. Is this not the same world that we're living in? Are we not having the same problems that they had back when Malcolm was alive? Yes, that's absolutely true. So you're going to say Malcolm was wrong? You're going to say the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is wrong? You're going to say Dr. John Henrik Clark is wrong? You're going to say Dr. Francis Cress Welsing was wrong? Are you going to say that? Are you going to say the Black Panther Party was wrong? You sound crazy. Okay, but some of you don't know how to think for yourselves. So you only go by the talking points that you have been fed and indoctrinated into believing, and you form for yourselves a wanton supremacist mind. Okay, a colonized mind. You walk around as a Black person or a wanton supremacist, shall I say, in blackface, just like Marcel. Marcel is saying the same things that the wanton supremacists say. How do you not feel that you sound stupid when you speak that way? If you're sitting there saying the same thing that Klansmen say, Klansmen who burn crosses in the yards of people who look like us, Klansmen who lynched and deleted people who look like us, Klansmen who bombed churches and deleted people who look like us. How do you dare to talk about the wanton supremacist cops who delete people looking like us every day and then say they fear for their lives? How do you even talk against them when you say the same things they say? They tell us to go back to Africa. They call us monkeys. All the things that you say, they say. If you're believing the ideology that Marcel and Tariq Nasheed are spewing. Now, hold on. Let me show this again because I showed this yesterday, but let's bring this back up. This is a conversation on Twitter between a man who's Caucasian named Leland with Tariq Nasheed. He told him basically that his hidden griftery museum, as I call it, it's giving club vibes, not an actual museum. To which Tariq replied, why is a suspected wanton supremacist concerned either way? And then Leland says to him, you know FBA views are more aligned with white supremacists, right? Let me read that again. You know FBA views are more aligned with white supremacists, right? This is a white person telling Tariq Nasheed that his own ideology and views and the minions who foolishly follow him is aligned with white supremacy. And this is true. You're saying the same things they say. So how then do you turn around and complain and act as though you're someone who's against white supremacy when you're in fact helping to strengthen white supremacy? That's what you're doing. He says you guys are anti-immigrants, called blacks from the Caribbean and Africa tethers, a term made up by white supremacists against blacks. Now FBA blacks use it against other blacks. How ironic. FBA #raccoons. Now, where's the lie that Leland told? I don't see any because he spoke the truth as far as I'm concerned, because that's absolutely what they do. Vince I Am says we have haters within our own families. Exactly. We have people in our own families who don't give a darn about us, who would take us out, who are envious of us, hate on us every chance they get. We have people who pretend to be our friends who will take us out. Let's talk about it. What about Shanquella Robinson over there in Mexico? Those people that did that to her were her supposed friends, so she unfortunately thought. But those people were African Americans. or as some of you call them, FBA. So my point is, are the immigrants that you so despise, some of you, are they deleting us on a regular basis? Do they have gangs that go to war against us? Or is it our own people that do such? You can't make yourselves make sense when you have that foolish frame of thought, because at the end of the day, there are, and here's the thing, you know, Tariq loves to say, oh, they call us cicadas. Well, some of them do call us that, but some of us call them tethers. So what's the difference? Why is it okay for one group and not the other? Why are you whining and crying and complaining when you do the same thing they do? Also, just so you know, some Africans call each other akatas, just like some of us call each other ninjas. Okay? Now, I'm well aware that some of them don't like us, and in fact, some of them actually hate us. But as I have said, all of them don't feel that way. So rather than painting them all with a broad brush and viewing them all as one category, why don't you just simply say, or why don't you simply try to unite with the ones of them who accept us, who are accepting of us, those who want to be on the same side as us, okay? Like Malcolm and Pia Gamma Pinto, okay? Who was from the West Indies, though he lived in Kenya. All right. At the end of the day, there's plenty of Africans who love us. There's plenty of Jamaicans, Trinidadians, okay, people from Barbados. There's plenty of them that love us and would fight tooth and nail with us. Now, if you want to talk about the ones who are against us, at the same time you're doing that, well, why don't you talk about the ones who are for us? But you see, you can't do that when you're being divisive, okay, when you're pushing the wanton supremacist rhetoric for them, okay, when you're really empowering the wanton supremacists, but foolishly pretending to be empowering your own people. You can't do that. And you know why you can't do it? I'm so glad you asked, because that goes against the narrative. That goes against the agenda. That's what that does. Duranda says, Lieutenant, you're in LT, you're in denial. The queen don't lie. Thank you, beloved. I absolutely don't. I'm not lying. I'm speaking the truth. And if that person is so upset and bothered, like I said, don't come here and complain. Moderators, put that person out of my chat. Okay? Because this isn't a conversation for you. I'm not trying to reinforce this on someone who clearly has a colonized mind and wants to continue to foolishly spew wanton supremacist racist rhetoric against people who look like them. I'm not trying to appease you. I'm not trying to put thoughts in your head, because your thoughts are already there. And if you don't want to change them, that's fine with me. But don't be in here complaining. Moderators, put them out. That's all I have to say. Now, on another note, let's talk about the conversation that Burna Boy had. Because Burna Boy got backlash, and I'm quite sure the people that were mad and upset and butthurt, well, those were people who followed Tariq Nasheed. That's what that is. Because this is what he's taught them. I find it very interesting that people are so foolish that they actually still believe anything that Tariq, the pathological liar, says. He has a whole Polish Jewish white mother-in-law who stays in his house. Okay, how do you fight white supremacy when it lives with you? Make yourself make sense. Make yourself make sense. He had all those people who don't look like us at his museum's grand opening. He had people who don't look like us with him at court when he went against Brandon. He always talks trash about people who look like us, makes cartoons and video games about people who look like us for exposing him and saying things about him that he doesn't want to address. But he don't do that to people who don't look like us, who say the same exact things about him. There's been people who don't look like us who have called him a whole agent. They have exposed things about him. And he didn't do one video talking trash about them. He didn't make one cartoon or video game about them. What y'all got to say about that, FBA minions? Now, I'm not saying everybody who falls under the umbrella or categorizes themselves or identifies themselves as FBA. I'm not talking about all of you, but I'm specifically talking about the ones who follow Bussy Reek and who vouch for him and who clout chase behind him and who give credence to his foolishness. And those of you who try to defend him, you can't defend it. You can't defend that. He can't even defend it himself. If he could, he'd be disputing receipts that have been dropped on him. But he's not disputing receipts. All he's doing is babbling. And that's what many of you are doing as well. Okay, so y'all can miss me with it. If you don't like it, leave. Exit stage left. I don't care about how many views I get on videos. I don't care about how many people I have subscribed. I really don't. Y'all should know that by now. If I did, I wouldn't be going against people like Tariq. Tariq has over 200,000 subscribers. Okay? If I make the people that follow him mad, well, none of them will follow me. But do I care? No, I don't. That's not what's important. This is about the truth. This is about helping our people, empowering our people, and spreading not division, but unity, period. Now let's talk about what Burna Boy had to say, because he responded to the backlash that he received. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. If you're mad, just go ahead and leave. Don't waste your time or ours, period. Hold on. Let me get this fool up out of here, because maybe I don't have any moderators right now. Moderators, get Lieutenant Soul up out of here. Do I have any moderators? Vince, I am. Get Lieutenant Soul out of my chats. Okay? Get him out of my chat. He's being disrespectful and he's clearly ignorant. All right, remove him from my chat. I don't have to paint narratives, Lieutenant Soul. That's what Bussy Reek is doing. You see, what I'm doing is speaking truth to power. And just because you don't like the truth doesn't mean I'm not going to speak it. And if you don't want to hear it, then why are you here? You are an idiot. All right? That's what you are. You're an idiot, period. Hold on for a second. My chat is frozen, so I can't put these fools out because otherwise I do it myself. Okay, thank you, Vince. Vince said he got him out of here. And Vince, if you see anyone else talking crazy or slick, get them out of here too. Because don't come to the channel if you're going to cry and whine about the truth. Because ain't no lies being told on here. Ain't no lies being told. And that's why some of you are mad, because the truth hurts. To those who love lies anyway. Now, here's what Burna Boy had to say in his response. He says, and I agree with him, by the way. He says, it's sad to see that in 2023, there are still such Black people who would prefer that we stay divided and conquered. Maybe it's my accent or something, but I never said you are African and not African American. I also did not say Africa is part of heaven. You deserve all the land and reparations you want from America. And I'm 100% in support of that. All I've ever done is try to make you understand that you have Africa too, that loves you. And I believe coming together as brothers and sisters is the only way forward for us Black people worldwide. You work against the progress of your own people, of our people worldwide, if your goal is to be divisive. And that's just what it is. That is the truth. Okay, if your goal is to keep us divided, that's the absolute truth. Now, if y'all mad about that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, because united we stand, divided we fall. That is why we stay at the bottom, because we have too many people who look like us who want to be divisive and follow an ignorant fool named Tariq Nasheed, who is clearly working for the wanton supremacists, whether you like it or not. I don't care what any of you think, okay? Because I'm sick and tired of him, and I'm sick and tired of the fools who try to defend his bullshit. But let's get into it, because I'm going to play some audio. I'm going to play some audio of what he had to say the other day about Burna Boy. And anyone who agrees with him, yeah, you're stupid. Okay, I don't care who you are. If you're mad, I don't care. Unfollow, unsubscribe, leave the chat. Don't ever come back. Say what you want, but I'm going to say what I want on my channel, period. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, I'm not going to play this whole thing. I'm going to play some of it because it's like 16 minutes long. I'll play a bit, and then I'll fast forward.
In the room. Glad to have y'all in here, man. People are popping in here real fast. Home thing. Akon was saying the same thing. If all Black people came back to Africa, you know, Black Americans need to go home. Black Americans need to go home. If they go home to Africa, man, Africa will be a powerhouse if they just go home. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that narrative. Y'all talk that, but when Black folks go over there, we're not treated like we're at home. If we want to be real, we're not treated like we're at home when we go over there to live. I'm not talking about to visit. It's different when you go visit. You know, they roll a red carpet out for you. But when you go to live and try to get land and all that, you see a lot of finesse games popping if you want to be real. And let's be clear. This is our home as foundational Black Americans. So this is a whole new day. What's up, Afro Elite? I see you. This is our home. This whole thing, this narrative that we as foundational Black Americans are some type of guest in our own homeland, this is our homeland. The narrative that they're trying to spew is that we're some type of lost immigrant group or something, and we're not. We have a very unique relationship to this land, to the United States. We're the only group who built the United States from scratch. No other group can make that claim. White people can't even make that claim. We built this thing from scratch. It was our labor that built this country from scratch. You understand? The white supremacists can't even say that. Just because you held the whip, you don't get credit for building the country. That's and this the analogy I like to give. That's like giving Joe Jackson credit for making Thriller. Just because he whooped Michael's ass, don't make Joe Jackson the creator of Thriller, the greatest album ever. You don't give the ass whooper credit just because you whipped somebody into showing the fullest potential of their talent to do something. It was still the ingenuity of the victim. You understand? We got to be clear about that narrative.
Now I'm going to fast forward, beloveds, because I can't play this whole thing.
Immigrate here from somewhere else. We go over there. Let's be very clear. I'm not even trying to be mean-spirited, but we're going to have to get some cultural straightening going on with these narratives. Let me hear from the family, man. Some of y'all raise your hand. Let me hear what's on your mind. Who's this first? Let's get Chris in here. Let's get Chris in here. What's up, Chris? Hop in. Chris, turn your microphone on, bro.
What's up?
What's up, Chris? How are you?
So I just wanted to get your opinion on human trafficking in Haiti. That's a big problem over there.
Right, but that's kind of off topic right now.
We're talking about Africa.
Right. Yeah, you're talking about Haiti. You're talking about Haiti, but we're talking about Africa. And that's
the diaspora.
That's really way off topic. Why would you come in here to get off topic like that?
I don't think it is off topic because your Jewish mother-in-law was involved in that.
Oh, you're a white supremacist troll, and I don't have a Jewish mother-in-law. You're fantasizing.
Yeah.
While you're fantasizing,
You're white.
Are you laying? Stop it. Are you laying on your stomach while you're fantasizing, sir? Because I could hear the lisp. I knew you were moist and sassy. I could hear the lisp in your voice. Because you want to be trafficked. You want somebody to put you in a yellow van somewhere and make you sell your pussy. You want to be trafficked, don't you, dude? Come on, girlfriend, hop on. I heard some lubricant going on in the background, by the way. Okay, because you're sitting there fantasizing about me. In the middle of the night, it's Friday night, and you sitting up laying on your stomach with lubricant, fantasizing about me.
Now you all heard this, idiots. Do you all hear this clown? Do you all hear this ignorant clown when someone asks him a serious question? And first of all, he just sat there and lied. I don't have a Jewish mother-in-law. Yes, you do. Your mother-in-law is a Polish Jew. Now, why would he lie and deny that? Why would he get so upset and start insulting the person? Oh, all of a sudden they got pussy to sell now. He hears lubricant and all of this foolishness. You see, that's what he does. He's nothing but a gaslighter and a deflector, okay, and an agent of chaos, all right? Why didn't he just sit there and answer the question? But he didn't want to answer the question. He wanted to spew insults because they said that his mother-in-law was involved in trafficking. Now, if his mother-in-law wasn't, why didn't he just say so? Why didn't he, debunk it with receipts? He never debunks anything with receipts when people talk about him. All he does is spew childish insults. Everybody has to be a bussy. Okay, he always wants to attack someone's sexuality. Do you all notice that? But this is the person some of you try so desperately to vouch for. Okay, this is someone that you all try so desperately, some of you, to defend. You can't defend him because he can't even defend his own stupid self. You can't defend him. Okay, that's just what it is. Hold on, I'm trying to turn my chat on this phone because I can't see it so clearly on here. So anyway, Nisa Q says, and how is Marcel running with someone who is calling men sassy, moist, etc.? Oh, well, that's because he's a whole fool, okay? That's how he's doing it, because he's not smart himself. He doesn't have critical thinking skills, and I can only thank the Most High that he didn't make it to Congress, okay, to represent us in reparations. How do you get up there and say you're going to represent us in reparations, but you're saying stuff like what he just said on the screen? How does Bussy Reek, how is he supposed to be leading the fight, all right, so relentlessly for reparations when this is the filth that he spews, saying the same thing that the wanton supremacist said? This is the same person who talked about Black people not knowing what to do with the money if we even got it for reparations. This is the same man who said, and I played you the receipts before, this is the same person who in fact said that Black single mothers don't deserve reparations because it's our sons causing all the chaos. But now he wants to make it Black immigrants are all the chaos. You see how he contradicts himself? You see how he's such a hypocrite? But you're fighting for reparations for everybody, Bussy Reek, but you think Black single mothers shouldn't get reparations. And some of his foolish, ignorant minions who try to defend his foolishness, they will simply say, oh, how long ago was that? Well, it was just a few years ago, about 4 years ago, to be exact. That's not that long ago. That was just a couple of years before the pandemic. That's how long ago it was. Not long. However long ago it was, he was old enough at the time he said it to know what he was saying. Okay? Kenyatta says, and he's not a menace to society. Exactly. Okay? He doesn't have a criminal history. I'm just saying, if he wants to talk about menaces to society, wasn't he at one point a whole pimp? So a pimp who's out here getting women to sell their bodies so he can make a profit, that's not a menace to society? I have questions. All right? So anyway, I'm done with that conversation because my whole point is don't be a fool. Don't sit here and continue to sow seeds of discord. Don't be a fool and sit here to not want unity. How could you be saying these things about all Africans and all Black immigrants, such hateful things full of vitriol and inflammatory things and accusations, when you have people like Burna Boy who clearly wants us to unify? There's many Africans like him. There's been celebrities come out as of late who've traveled to Africa, and they've talked about how well they were treated. But see, Bussy Rick, if you notice, he was talking about, oh, they want us to go back over there. Oh, they'll treat you nice when you come to visit, but they don't do that when you move over there. Well, why would there be any difference? You see, the reason he said that is because he's gone over there and visited, and he was treated nice. And there's video of him admitting to it. I've shown it to you. And so now that we've been exposing him specifically with his own receipts and his own words in many cases, now he's trying to be careful not to contradict himself. That's all he's doing, okay? And here's another thing. When Burna Boy says go to Africa, he's not telling you to move to Africa, because another thing Bussy Rick said is, why would we go to Africa when plenty of them come over here? They don't even stay in Africa. Well, this is true. He's not telling you to move to Africa. He's just telling you to simply go there. Go there and visit. Get to know the people. Aside from what you see on TV, aside from what you've been told and indoctrinated to think and believe, aside from the narratives being pushed, go over there and visit so you can see that many of them will welcome you and want to unify with you, who want to work with you. That's what he's saying. He's not telling you to pack up and move over there. He's just saying be more accepting of them as they should be of us and go over there and visit. Okay? That's the Pan-Africanist mind frame. That's all that is. Spreading unity, not division. How can Bussy Reek aka Tariq Nasheed, how can he sit there and act as though he follows the teachings of Marcus Garvey when Marcus Garvey was a whole Pan-Africanist? And someone said, oh, the Queen, I saw someone said in the chat something about me being on the fence or something like that, being outdated or on the fence or something stupid they said. Here's the thing. If you're referring to the fact that I used to follow and support Tariq Nasheed, well, I did. And I've admitted that numerous of times. But I woke up, unlike some of you minions who still try to follow and defend his foolishness. You see, at the end of the day, if you want to critique me for changing my mind and changing my stance, what do you have to say about Bussy Reek when he used to be a whole Pan-Africanist? When he used to speak so favorably about Black immigrants, when he said out of his own mouth that wanton supremacists offered him money, plenty of it, to sow division between them and us. He said he didn't take it, but I can't tell because he's doing exactly what he says they offered him money to do. How do you explain that while you're trying to worry about the Queen changing my opinion, waking up from the fraud? I have questions. But anyway, let me move on to another topic because there was a shooting today in Colorado that I want to report on briefly. I'm going to share my screen. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel. If you're mad, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. See ya and wouldn't want to be.
We have breaking news out of Colorado. You're looking at the live pictures after a shooting at a school, and a manhunt is underway for the gunman. Let me tell you what we know from a press conference that was just held. 2 staff members were hurt in that shooting at Denver's East High School. One is said to be in serious condition, one in critical condition. One other student suffered an allergic reaction and was also taken to the hospital. Police say the suspect is a student, and what happened was he agreed to be patted down and then opened fire on the 2 male staffers. That school is in lockdown. You see the number of people who are now outside. The local paper, the Denver Post, is reporting a large police presence in the area east of downtown. The ATF is already on scene, and the mayor has come to the school, according to the Post, saying, we know who he is regarding the suspect. We will find him and we will hold him accountable. But again, that is an active manhunt in the east side of Denver, Colorado.
So there you heard it. Sadly and unfortunately, another school shooting, and the person now is on the run and the police are looking for them. Okay? People, I continue to tell you that if you are able to, please homeschool your children so that you know at least that they're safe and you can have peace of mind while you're at work. Okay, there's plenty of online classes and schools that you can sign them up for. All you have to do is do the research, and look it up. And if your children are old enough to stay at home by themselves, you definitely should be homeschooling them. Okay, that's very important. And also teach them the truth of history because the devils continue to lie about our history. All right, they continue to lie about our history. And as a matter of fact, speaking of that, there is a story. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. And then after this, I'm going to close out this broadcast. But there was a story that I read earlier today about Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks, here's what they say. Now, Florida's textbook, I want you to pay attention because Governor Ron DeSantis has been trying to remove Black history and the truth from books, okay? And make laws and all types of things to get rid of critical race theory, CRT. But here's what's going on right now. A textbook publisher found over 40,000 Florida schools removed references to the race of civil rights icon Rosa Parks in a draft lesson made to comply with the state's Stop Woke Act, thanks to Governor Ron DeSantis. Pay attention. So Studies Weekly, a science and social studies textbook publisher, reportedly created a version of its lesson on Rosa Parks for first grade students to submit for state review that failed to explicitly mention that she was Black. Okay, this was reported by the New York Times. They didn't want to say she was Black. In one version of the lesson, the publisher wrote that Rosa Parks was told to move from her bus seat because of the color of her skin. They didn't say what the color of her skin was. Now, a second version of the Parks lesson declined to mention that race was involved at all. They say she was told to move to a different seat. She did not. She did what she believed was right. They didn't even say that she was black and why she was told to move from her seat. They left that out conveniently. In a separate instance by the same publisher, a draft lesson for fourth graders on the Civil War failed to include language of black people being discriminated against under what is known as the Black Codes. The Civil War lesson instead opted for wording such as certain groups. That's what they said, certain groups. They're trying to fool your children. They're trying to hide the truth from your children. So please be sure you're teaching your children this at home. Now, according to the Times, current lessons found in Florida schools do include segregation and references to race. It's unclear whether the versions created to comply with the Stop Woke Act were submitted to the state for review. But following the Times report, the textbook publisher said in a statement that the state gave no guidance on how they should interpret the law. However, individuals in our curriculum team severely overreacted in their interpretation of House Bill 7 and made unapproved revisions. This is what they say. Now, the Florida Department of Education told Insider that the state encourages instruction on parks and other topics related to the civil rights movement. They say it would be impossible to teach about the significance of Rosa Parks without discussing her race. This is what the Education Department said, and I agree. How can you make her a significant figure, a historical figure, and really express her plight and the fight that she was in for civil rights if you don't say what race she was? Any publisher who attempts to avoid the topic of race when discussing Rosa Parks or topics such as civil rights movement, the civil rights movement, slavery, segregation, etc., would not be adhering to the Florida law. This is what they say. So anyway, I just find it all interesting because at the end of the day, they can say they wouldn't be adhering to the Florida law, but it sounds like they're trying to adhere to the Florida law. The Stop Woke Act, no, they don't want race being discussed as a topic. They don't want critical race theory being discussed. They don't want the truth being discussed. Okay, so that's basically what that bill is saying. So they've made these revisions now, and they want to exclude race from it. I find that interesting because when they talk about the Holocaust, do they exclude who the Holocaust happened to specifically? And I'm talking about the one in Germany. We're not even going to get into the Holocaust that happened right here on this land, okay, that we never were made whole from, that we never got reparations from. But America did give reparations to people who experienced the Holocaust in Germany. And when they talk about these people and write about these people in history books, they're never going to deny who these people were, but they'll deny who we are. Pay attention. And this is all part of the reason why we need to unify with other people who look like us, no matter where they're from on this globe. Because you see, that's the only way that we'll be able to come out from under oppression, okay, when we start working together. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again. Please like and share, subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. If you enjoy the commentary, if you don't, oh well. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right. With that all being said, Warrior Scholar says Burna Boy is interested in exploiting Black Americans. Well, how do you know that? I would like to know how you know that. Is that your opinion or is that a fact? And if it's a fact, where's your receipts, beloved? Where's your receipts? What does he have to gain from exploiting Black Americans? You know who is exploiting Black Americans? Tariq Nasheed. And what does he have to gain? Well, millions of dollars that people have given to him. That's what. Then he takes some of that money and says he's going to open a Black History Museum. And he opens a whole lounge with a bar. Okay? Where are the artifacts? I have questions. Yes, that's right, Khalid Harleen. He did take the money. So let's not talk about Burna Boy unless you're going to also talk about Bussy Rick. Burna Boy isn't getting paid from African Americans. He's not getting paid. What are you talking about? He's trying to exploit us. Please, I would like to know. But I'm sure you yourself don't even know. Okay? With that all been said, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. All right? Peace.
hit him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got